So this is the apprenticeship session. So hopefully by the end of this session, you'll find out everything you need to know around apprenticeship. So everything from applying, gaining work experience, and progression within apprenticeships as well. Okay. So first of all, as you're probably researching your options, the options on screen are probably what you've considered when you're making your choices for college. So whatever route you decide on, you can still achieve your end goal. So whether that's progressing onto university, into full-time employment, or onto further training. So today, as I say, you'll hear a little bit more about the apprenticeship route, and hopefully the overview will give you a better understanding of what an apprenticeship is and how you go about securing one. Okay, so apprenticeships are a great way to develop knowledge and skills on the job whilst gaining qualifications and earning money at the same time. So apprenticeships have grown enormously over the last couple of years, and the government have now recognised the impact that COVID-19 has had on businesses recruiting, and that they're pledging to invest more money into apprenticeships over the coming months. So you are going to see massive growth in apprenticeships as hopefully as the years go on. So there's a large range of apprenticeships available. So whether you're aiming for an office-based role in the business world, or if you're dreaming of working in construction, we've got something for everyone. So to start an apprenticeship, you do need an employer linked to your training. And if you don't manage to secure an employer for your apprenticeship, we always recommend that you start on a full-time course, and we'll work with you and swap you over onto an apprenticeship when you do find an employer. So apprenticeships are a great way to develop knowledge and skills on the job, whilst gaining qualifications and earning money. So apprentices work a minimum of 30 hours a week, a maximum of 40 hours, and attend college just one day a week in most cases. So with the rest of the week, you will be spent with your employer in the workplace. So as it stands at the moment, the current rate of pay for an apprentice is £4.15 an hour, which means the minimum amount that you could earn in a week is £124.50. So that's as a minimum within a week. So apprenticeships are a very popular choice, and competition is fierce. So it's important that you do stand out, and I'll come on to how you do that in a second. Okay, so the level of apprenticeship will depend on your previous experiences and your qualifications. So just as an example, if you've never maybe studied engineering, you generally start on the level 2, but it does depend on the job role to build your skill set up to progress onto the higher levels. So you can start an apprenticeship at any level appropriate to the job that you're doing, working all the way up to achieving degree level qualifications. So there's degree apprenticeships available now. So all apprenticeships do require a good level of maths and English. So to gain an apprenticeship, you will need 5 GCSEs between grade 4 and 9, and those need to include maths and English. So whichever level of apprenticeship you start on does depend on the type of job that you're applying for and the skills required for that role as well. So there are several ways you can enter an apprenticeship. If you know someone already who is willing to take you on, ask them to contact the college, and we can provide them with all the information that they need, and we'll arrange a visit out to your employer to complete relevant paperwork. So if you're in year 11 currently, it's still worth making contact with the college just so we can get your details, and we'll maybe contact your employer a little bit closer to the time once you've got your GCSE results. So you can search and apply for live vacancies on the National Apprenticeship Service website. So, and you can also approach employers directly, and you can search on our website for vacancies. What I would say is, if you are looking on NAS, is to make sure you check the end date, because some employers will be looking for apprentices to start immediately. And if you're still in school, obviously you're not going to be able to do that. So do check the end date before you apply. And if you haven't secured an apprenticeship before September, don't panic. Always enrol and apply for the full-time programme. Make your tutor aware that you do want to gain an apprenticeship, and we'll try and help support you with your search. By enrolling on the full-time course, all that means is that you're gaining skills and you're learning about the industry, which you'll be able to put into practice when you do eventually become an apprentice. So you're gaining skills and knowledge on your course. Okay, so to get an apprenticeship and when you are applying, you will need a CV. So you should make sure you have an up-to-date, well-written CV. And if you want to be considered for any future apprenticeship vacancies that are linked to the college, you can email a copy of your CV to appenquiry@sthelens.ac.uk. So you should be able to see that email address on the screen there. I'll leave that on for a couple of minutes. You want to grab a pen. So before you send the CV, make sure when you send it, you send an introduction to yourself and what type of apprenticeship you would like. So your CV will then be kept in our apprenticeship talent pool. And if any vacancies come through, our apprenticeship team may put your CV forward for that role. So your CV needs to be concise, professional, presenting all of your skills and attributes, and it should contain any work experience you've done, any impressive projects you've taken part in school, and like your educational history, so the school you went to, list your GCSE results as well, and your hobbies and interests. If in the summer you get the opportunity to take part in NCS, that always looks great on your CV because you learn all sorts of skills on that, including teamwork, which looks brilliant. Okay, if you do want any help with writing a CV, we have an apprenticeship guide which is available on our website for you to download. So you can get ahead of the competition, download a copy of our apprenticeship guide, which is full of useful hints and tips to help you find an apprenticeship. So if you visit that link on the bottom there, which is sthelens.ac.uk/apprenticeships, you'll be able to get your copy there. So you can also keep checking our job shop. So on our job shop are all the vacancies that we have that are linked to the college. So all the employers we are working with, and they have live vacancies available. So you can apply via the job shop. Okay, so I mentioned the employers that we do work with. So a couple of big names up on there. We've got Matalan, we've got HMS, which are a housing company, quite a big housing company. So we work with local, national and sometimes international employers, so providing our students with excellent workplace placement opportunities. So within our full-time programs, you do get to do some work placement hours. So if you haven't managed to find an apprenticeship by September, you will still get the opportunity to do some work experience hours. But these employers are who we do currently have apprentices with. Okay, so just a quick recap. So I've put that email address back on again. So if you have got a CV, make sure you send that over to that address. So just to recap, you do need an employer linked to your training to be able to start an apprenticeship. You will also need English and Maths at grade 4 and above, a standout CV. And if you don't have an employer ready to take you on as an apprentice, make sure you've applied for the full-time course and send over a copy of your CV. You can also start approaching employers now, asking them for a little bit of work experience, which can often lead to an apprenticeship because they know you're reliable. So it's always worth doing that as well. So I'm going to open the floor up to questions now. I'll stop sharing my screen. If anyone's got any questions, just pop them in the chat facility for us. Just give everyone a couple of minutes if you have got any questions around apprenticeships or college in general. If you've got any questions around college that you want to ask, feel free. Okay, I've got a question through from Sam. What times will I be in college? So if you do an apprenticeship, Sam, you'll only be in college 1 day a week. So your times will be set when you come in to enrol. So every student will get a timetable. So usually you're in around 3 days a week. Okay, so your times vary. Most students are in before 8:45 in the morning, and then you get the opportunity to get a free breakfast as well. Whereabout would the apprenticeship places be located? And that's from Lewis. So Lewis, it depends on your employer. So wherever your employer is located. So we have apprentices in Wigan, Manchester, Liverpool, Knowsley, Warrington, all over the place. So depending on where your employer is where your apprenticeship will be located. When you're coming into college 1 day a week, if you were studying engineering, for example, you'd be based at our STEM centre.
Okay, so there's a question in the general chat box. Sorry, it won't let me put my camera back on. If you don't do an apprenticeship, you have to come into college every day. So it's usually around 16 hours a week on a full-time programme, which is roughly 2.5 days a week. If you do need to continue your studies with maths and English, that will probably be another afternoon or another full day in college. But if you do your apprenticeship, like Lisa said, it'd be 1 day a week in college. If you do full-time study, it's about 2.5 days a week in college.
Yeah, so you will get your timetable when you come in to enroll, so you'll know what days of the week you are in college, what times you start and finish. But most students will start at 9, sorry.
Okay, there's another question. How would I apply for a dental nursing apprenticeship as I am leaving school this year? So Lisa touched on the Gov website where all apprenticeships are listed. That's probably your best place to start. Like Lisa mentioned, you can't start applying whilst you're still in school. You will need to have left school. But you can register your details now, but you're probably best to not start applying until closer to the time. It's always good as well to contact employers yourself. So contact some local dental, dentists and see if there is any positions available for apprentices, but obviously starting from next September. Otherwise, the Gov website or our college website as well, so sthelens.ac.uk/job shop. If we have any vacancies, they are listed there.
Yeah. It's always good if you've got a CV ready, so that you can send them out to employers and just prospect the idea that you are looking for an apprenticeship for September next year, and just see if they'll give you the opportunity. Even if you get a little bit of work experience out of it, it's good to put on your CV.
Probably good to know as well for dental nursing, as well as your maths and English, they look for science as well. So at least a grade 4 in your maths, your English and your sciences as well, because there's quite a lot of science within that qualification.
I've just seen that question come through there, so I'll pick that one up, Beth. So I've applied for St Helens College. Does that mean I have a guaranteed place for next year? So at the moment, because we can't interview, every student will be getting a conditional offer, and that's just a temporary thing. So your conditional offer is based on your GCSE grades. So the conditions to your offer will be you've got a place on this course depending on your GCSE grades. We are hoping to reinstate interviews next year. So whether that's face-to-face or via telephone, we don't know yet. But you will speak to a course tutor at some point, and have one-to-one guidance. But most students do get their chosen place at college. So yeah. Okay, any other questions? We'll just give it another minute or two just for any questions to come through.
It's always worth knowing as well, at least I will have mentioned this earlier on, but just to recap, if you are wanting to do an apprenticeship, we still would recommend applying for a full-time course just to make sure you do secure yourself a place for September, so that if you didn't find your apprenticeship in time, you've still got a place secured, whether that's at our college or at whatever your chosen college will be. We always recommend just making sure that you do get yourself a place secured at college, even if you are aiming to study an apprenticeship.
Sam's asked, how do I do my CV? So Sam, I mentioned in my presentation about the apprenticeship guide, so there's useful hints and tips within there on how to build a CV. Within school as well, I'm sure you might have a careers advisor that you can go to and give you some guidance around that. And we do have on our website a piece of software called Career Coach, which can help you build a CV.
Sean's asked, if you don't get maths and English, would you have to do them first? So Sean, if you don't get your maths and English, you could potentially do them alongside, but it does depend on the apprenticeship. So usually it is a grade 4 and above in your maths and English. Some apprenticeships may accept a grade 3, but would expect you to study alongside. But it is usually a grade 4 for the entry requirements for the apprenticeships for both maths and English. And like I mentioned earlier, some for example, dental nursing would require science too.
Okay, can't see any other questions coming through. If anyone does have any follow-up questions after this session's finished, use the virtual event platform and just use the contact us section, and we will answer questions through there. Okay, I'll end the session there then. Thanks everyone for joining us, and hopefully see you all very soon